A single message, a blue tick, and a fading spark of hope. That familiar punch to the gut. The sting of a silent, crushing no. For most, this is where the road ends. The moment they accept defeat and decide never to try again. But today, we turn this pain into the world's most powerful fuel. We will learn to use rejection as a filter, a navigation system, and an unshakable inner fortress. You will never hear the world say no the same way again. This is NOVYRON. Let's begin. Rejection, a tool too powerful to stop you. Introduction, that familiar punch. I have to ask you something truly personal, perhaps something you are trying to run away from right now. When was the last time you were rejected? I'm not just talking about the major life events. Maybe you invited someone to dinner and got the "I have other plans" response. Maybe you excitedly presented an idea at work and your manager simply nodded and changed the subject. Or maybe that message you wrote days ago still hasn't received a reply. Those blue ticks are just sitting there, and you're staring at the screen, questioning your own self-worth. Whatever happened, try to remember exactly how you felt in that moment. For most people, rejection feels like a sudden punch to the stomach in a dark alley. Your breath catches, your throat tightens. It hurts. And this pain doesn't fade as quickly as a physical wound. If you're honest with yourself, the fear of this pain is likely what's stopping you from doing the things you actually want to do right now. You don't send the message. You don't make the call. You don't start that risky venture. Because in the back of your mind, you are already preparing for the worst-case scenario, that devastating no and the feeling of inadequacy that follows. Today, we are here to tear down this invisible wall. Not with motivational cliches. Not with social media slogans like "you are so valuable, just believe in yourself." We are here with something much deeper, much more biological, a mental map that flips rejection entirely on its head. By the end of this video, when the world says no to you, you won't be shaken. On the contrary, that no will become a navigation tool for you. We will cover 7 lessons. And by the end of this journey, rejection will never feel the same way again. Lesson 1. The genetic heritage of fear and the brain's illusion. Before you can overcome the fear of rejection, you must understand scientifically why it hits so hard. Why does a no, a word made of just 2 letters, make us break into a sweat as if we were in mortal danger? The answer lies not in the modern world, but in the wilderness of thousands of years ago. For our ancestors, belonging to a tribe was the only way to survive. If the tribe accepted you, there was food, there was shelter, and most importantly, there was protection from predators. If your tribe rejected you and cast you out, it meant being alone in the wild. And in those times, being alone meant inevitable death. This is why our brains evolved to equate social rejection with a physical threat. Modern neuroscience research shows that when we experience social exclusion, the anterior cingulate cortex in our brain lights up. Do you know what's interesting? This is the exact same region that processes pain when you break an arm or hit your shin. For your brain, there is no biological difference between the thought "they don't like me" and the signals "my leg is broken." But here is the problem: we no longer live on the savannah. Someone not replying to your message or getting a negative result from a job interview will not physically kill you. But your nervous system hasn't been updated to the 21st century yet. It is still trying to protect you. When I first understood this, I felt a massive sense of relief. Now, whenever I am rejected or that fear rises within me, I tell myself, this is a software error. My brain is trying to protect me from an imaginary lion. But there is no lion here. There is only a no. This awareness puts the control of the pain back in your hands. Take a breath and ask, what is the realistic worst-case outcome? The answer is always, I will feel a bit of discomfort, and life will go on. Discomfort is simply the entry fee for growth. Lesson 2. The power balance and emotional sovereignty. There is a strange, sometimes frustrating mechanism in human nature. People generally want what they cannot have. They desire what resists them. They chase what moves away. This applies to everything from dating to business negotiations. When rejected, most people immediately fall into a needy position. They either offer more explanations to save the situation, but what I actually meant was, they apologize, or they try harder to buy the other party's approval. This reaction sends a clear message: your approval is more important than my happiness. You are more powerful than I am. I discovered a third way, and it is surprisingly powerful: graceful and silent acceptance. Imagine you present a proposal to someone and they say, I don't think I'm interested. Most people would crumble. But if you simply look them in the eye, stay calm, perhaps offer a slight smile and say, I understand, thank you for your time, and then close the subject and move on, do you know what happens? An earthquake occurs in the other person's mind. They don't find this disappointed person profile they expected. When they see that you are not shaken, that their decision didn't even leave a scratch on your inner peace, their perception of your value changes. They begin to think, why is he so relaxed? Why doesn't he need my approval? Maybe I made the wrong decision. This isn't manipulation, this is true self-sovereignty. When you don't tether your worth to someone else's yes, you take the power of that yes away from them. Real power is the capacity to walk away from the table. When you show that you don't need it, people's interest in you naturally increases. Because humans love power and independence. Lesson 3. Seeing rejection as data mining. Do you know the common trait of the greatest names in world history? None of them had lives filled only with success. Their lives were monuments built atop massive piles of rejection debris. Thomas Edison was rejected thousands of times, or as he put it, he found thousands of ways that didn't work before inventing the light bulb. His teachers told him he was too stupid to learn anything. J.K. Rowling took the Harry Potter manuscript to 12 publishers, and they all turned her away, saying it was too long for children. Walt Disney was fired by a newspaper editor for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. These people saw rejection not as an end, but as data entry. If you are being rejected, it doesn't mean you are inadequate. It simply means one of three things. Wrong method, perhaps the way you presented it was flawed. Wrong timing, the other party wasn't ready for it at that moment. Wrong fit, that person or institution is not the right place for you. Since I learned this, I examine every no like a laboratory experiment. Instead of suffering, I pick up a magnifying glass. What is this note telling me? If I get rejected from a job interview, instead of blaming myself, I analyze my skills and my presentation. If you run away from rejection, you run away from the most valuable feedback you need to grow. Rejection is the universe's way of saying, you need to fix something here. Lesson 4. The cleaning that labeling virus. The most dangerous habit of our minds is taking a specific event and turning it into a general personal trait. When someone says no to you, your brain doesn't tell you, they said no. It usually whispers, you are a rejectable person. You are not worthy of love. You are incompetent. This is a logical fallacy. Imagine walking into a bookstore. You pick a quantum physics book off the shelf, read the first page, and say this isn't for me as you put it back. Does that mean it's a bad book? Does it mean the author is a failure? Of course not. It just means that in that moment, for that reader, that book wasn't the right match. That's all. You are like that book. You cannot expect everyone to read you or like you. When someone rejects you, not a single gram is subtracted from your value. A diamond is still a diamond when it falls into the mud, it's just that those around it cannot see its sparkle in that moment. Keep rejection specific. This person said no. This company said no. End the sentence there. Erase those dangerous follow-up sentences starting with because I am. From your mind. They are viruses, and they only serve to paralyze you. Lesson 5. Patience and the invisible finish line illusion. The modern world has fed us an opium of urgency. We want everything to happen now. To be accepted on the first try, to get rich on the first project, to find eternal happiness in the first love, and when this doesn't happen, when we are rejected, we see it as a catastrophe. Because in our heads, there is an imaginary finish line and we think we're running late. The truth is, everything worth having in life will take longer than you initially estimated. This is not a sign of failure, it is the nature of meaningful things. When you face rejection, pause. In that pause, remind yourself, I might be hurting right now, but this is just the middle of the road, not the end. Most people quit just 3 steps away from the goal because of the final no they encounter. Yet that no is actually an endurance test. Give yourself plenty of time. When starting a project, factor in being rejected 50 or 100 times as if it were a budget item. If you set out expecting 100 rejections, your 5th rejection won't hurt. Instead, you'll say, okay, scratched another one off the list, we're getting closer to the goal. When you change your perspective, the pain is replaced by the excitement of a hunter. Lesson 6. Rejection therapy, building immunity. How do you strengthen your muscles? By straining them under weight and creating micro tears. You can strengthen your nervous system the same way. We call this rejection therapy. I'm going to give you some strange advice. Go out and deliberately try to get rejected. Create small situations that won't destroy your career or your life, but will make you feel embarrassed. For example, when ordering at a restaurant, ask for something ridiculous that isn't on the menu, and expect them to say no. When paying at a store, ask for a 20% discount for no reason at all. Go up to someone on the street and ask, can you give me $50 for 10 minutes? Do you know what will happen when you do this? Your heart will pound, you'll sweat, You'll want to die, and then the other person will say no. And nothing will happen. Lightning won't strike, the earth won't open up. Life will go on exactly as it did before. If you do this every day for a week, your nervous system will become immune to the sound of no. You will no longer feel that old paralyzing fear when asking for something. Because your mind now knows, I experienced the rejection, I experienced the embarrassment, and I am still here. I am still alive. I am still strong. This is the greatest superpower the world can give you. Lesson 7. The Inner Fortress and Final Freedom. We have come to the most important point that holds everything together. The goal of all these strategies, techniques, and scientific data is not to turn you into a cold, unfeeling stone. You will continue to feel the pain, but that pain will no longer rule you. The real issue is moving the need for validation from the outside world into yourself. The opinions of others are like waves on the ocean, they are constantly changing, sometimes rising, sometimes falling. If you build your peace upon these waves, you will suffer from seasickness your whole life. Build your own inner fortress. Your sense of who you are must come from your values and your actions. If you are honest, if you have done your best, and if you have walked toward your fears, it doesn't matter if the world says yes or no to you. You have already received the yes in your own conscience. Rejection is always what it truly is, information, not a verdict. Feedback, not a judgment. It's not yet or choose another path, never not you. You don't need everyone to say yes to you. You just need to stop letting every no be the end of your story. Conclusion, returning to the field. When you finish this video, you will likely still feel that fear. But that fear is no longer your master. It is simply a traveling companion on your journey. Remember, if you are never being rejected, it means you aren't playing big enough. Collect the rejection letters, the no responses, and the unanswered messages. They are proof that you are in the arena, that you are trying, that you are taking risks, and that you are doing something most people are too afraid to even attempt. Do not fear rejection. Fear not being rejected, because that means you are standing still. If this video gave you the strength you needed today, subscribe and share which lesson touched you the most in the comments. Perhaps your story will help someone else stand up after their next no. I'll see you in the next video, right here, even stronger. Take care of yourself and that unshakable fortress within you. If you found value in this video, please subscribe, like, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments.